Hello, this is Mr. Martin here, and I'm going to walk you through how to get started using OnShape for 3D design. So to get started, go ahead and open up Google Chrome and type in onshape.com. Hopefully, you have already created your account, which was what you were supposed to do last week. If not, go ahead and look at those directions and go ahead and get signed up and then come back to this video. Otherwise, click sign in. Enter in the email address that you used and your password. Since I've been on here recently, it just automatically logged me in. So this is what your OnShape library looks like. You probably don't have as many things in here at all. I have used OnShape for a bit, so I have a lot of designs to look at. We're going to get started making a new one today, and I'm just going to show you how to get started with some very basic shapes. So to get started, on the left, you're going to go ahead and click Create, and then you're going to create a document. Put a name. We're going to call this one 12 blocks. You're going to make for me 12 blocks on this CAD program. Opens up your work screen. So now this is what our workspace looks like. I am holding down the right click button, and I can drag around to look at it from different angles. I can also click on the cube over here. So if I want to see it from the front, from the right, from the top, this allows you to get a nice perspective. The objects that you create are going to show up over here. We haven't done anything yet. You also have your tools along the top. So now to get started, and I'm going to click on this angle here. Look at it from there. To get started, we need to first start with a sketch. Now, when doing OnShape or doing any real CAD program, unlike Tinkercad, you have to create all of your shapes from scratch. So to start with to make a three-dimensional shape, you actually have to start with a two-dimensional shape. So we're going to focus mostly today on making cubes, because that's most of what the 12 block assignment is going to be, is making different cubes and then figuring out how to look at an object in 2D and then recreate it in 3D. So if we were to start with a cube, or with just a basic four-sided cube, we're going to have to start with a square. To get started, you're going to click on Sketch. Anytime you click on Sketch or any of the tools, it's going to ask for some sort of input. So it's going to be highlighted here in blue. This wants to know what plane or what surface you're going to draw on. Right now, you have 3 planes. You can draw on the right, the front, or the top plane. And then you can do that later on. You can change that and add some more planes in there when you start making more complicated designs. I'm going to choose to start with the top plane. Now, usually when I'm working with the top plane, I often like to look at it straight up and down. And you can see you have a little binding box for sketch number 1. Now that your sketch tools are open, you have your drawing tools. So our drawing tools are all right here. And you can draw a line, you can draw a rectangle, you can draw circles, arches, and polygons, and what is a spline. Now, the ones that have down arrows next to it give you some other options. So I have 2 different types of rectangles I can draw. A corner rectangle, where I start in the corner and drag it out, or a center point rectangle. And sometimes you'll use a corner, sometimes you'll use the center. It often depends just where exactly you want to draw the object. We also have the same idea with circles. You have an ellipse, a 3-point circle, and a center. We're going to focus today on the center point rectangle. I want to highlight everything over the origin here. So if I highlight over, see how it turns yellow? That means the center of my circle is now going to be connected to that. So I'm going to click once, not click and drag, but click once, and I'm going to let go. And this is showing you the size of the rectangle. And this is in inches right now because I didn't adjust it to millimeters. I want you to start with a 4-inch by 4-inch square because we're going to end up making a 4 by 4 by 4 cube. To do that, I could just try to keep dragging it until I get it exactly right, which is going to be almost impossible. Actually, you can just click it anywhere. And what it's now done is create a little box around the bottom dimension. And I don't have to click on it. Since it's already highlighted, I just type in the number 4, hit enter, and it's made it 4 inches now. I can also then, it automatically moves it to the next dimension, and I can just type in 4 for that, hit enter. And I now have a 4-inch by 4-inch square in my drawing. Now I still have my rectangle tool selected, so if I clicked anywhere, it's going to start drawing a new rectangle. To get rid of that, or to get off of that tool, just hit escape. And then I can look around at my square. When I'm done with my drawing, I hit the check mark. So now we have to turn this square into a 3-dimensional object. To do that, we use our 3D tools, and we actually have a few of them here. Today, we're only going to use the extrude tool. This is going to take whatever shape you just drew, and it's going to extend it out in a straight line. So if we extend out a square, we're going to get a rectangle. So when I click on it, it's like before, it asks for some sort of input. So it wants to know what is the sketch that you're going to extrude. And you can just go and click on it. And now it's extruded it. Right now it is only 1 inch, as you can see here. I can also change the direction I extrude it. Maybe I want it to go down, or maybe I want it to go symmetric, so it goes both up and down equally. There's other ones you'll end up using later on. I'm just going to go with a basic blind extrude. You can grab the arrow and lift it. Again, if we want it to be accurate, we just highlight over the depth, type in 4, hit enter, now hit check mark. And we now have a perfect 4 by 4 by 4 cube. From here, we can actually do more sketches. I could sketch on the surface of a cube if I want. So I'm going to click and look at the top view. And I could do a corner rectangle this time. And I could drag it out. See how it highlights yellow? That means it's intersected, so it's touching that line. It kind of locks in there. And now it's locked into that dot. I let go, and I have a perfect 2-inch by 2-inch square. I can hit the check mark. And I can hit extrude again, and this time I could extrude just that shape. Maybe I want it to go 2 inches. Now I have a square on top of a square. What if I actually wanted to cut that out? I could actually now, instead of adding a shape onto that, I can remove it and cut it down. Now I have a slightly more complex shape. I could add, if I wanted to, on the right side, I could do another sketch right there, selecting the face to extrude on. I could draw a center circle if I wanted. I could hit OK. Now I could extrude that if I wanted to. I could extrude it out. In the case of this, I could change direction and extrude it that way. I could also do it as a remove. I could cut a hole out of it. Hit OK. So with everything, you're just adding sketches, using it to add pieces, using it to remove pieces. You also have some other tools you can use to kind of redesign the shape a little bit. This one is called a fillet, which rounds the corners. And I can change the depth of the rounding here. So if I wanted to round the corners off a little bit, I can use that. So I would recommend, after you're done with the assignment for this week, to just kind of play around. What I'm going to need you to do on the assignment then, you're going to get 12 different blocks that you're going to have a picture of. And then I need you to, on OnShape, design those blocks. Take a screenshot of each one, and then you're going to upload screenshots. And instead of uploading 12 different screenshots, If you would please just put them into a slides presentation or put them all into a Google Doc, that's going to save me some time. Then I would recommend when you get done with that, just play around with OnShape a little bit. Next week, we will do some more complicated designs, but this week's just about getting started with manipulating your 3D objects. Let me know if you have any questions. Please shoot me a Schoology message or send me an email, and I'll get back to you. We can also have our Zoom sessions this week if you need me to see your screen so I can help you out. As always, look at the bottom of the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.